Top 5 signs a woman is using you for attention. The top 5 signs a woman wants you to simp, she wants you to chase her. This is a lot of times why women flirt with men and have no intention of doing anything else because they want the attention, they want the validation. That's usually what it comes down to. This is why guys are always talking about the friend zone. A lot of what simps and weak men don't understand is that not all attention from women is good attention. Not all attention from women is quality attention, and different types of attention mean different things. So a lot of the reason why guys get trapped in the friend zone is not being realistic and not looking at something for what it really is, and not taking the red pill and not understanding female nature, female behavior. One of the oldest tricks in the book is the friend zone. One of the oldest tricks in the book is to get guys to chase, and a lot of women, usually good-looking women, okay, they tend to be more narcissistic, which is a sad fact. It's a sad reality that 9 times out of 10, if she's good looking, she's not going to be normal mentally. Her personality is going to be warped in some way or another, and they're most of the time in some form, some way, shape, or form, a narcissist, right? And unfortunately, that's a part of life, and it's a part of being a good-looking person in life, particularly with women in a gynocentric society such as America, or such as the West, such as the United States. Even the more developed countries, when poverty's out the window, etc., all these other things come in, and one of the things from our women is narcissism, right? So let's get into the top 5 signs a woman is using you for attention. This is practical. This is something you can apply to your life, and you can figure out, why is that girl always flirting with me, but whenever I flirt back, she's not reciprocal. Now that right there is an obvious red flag. That right there is an obvious indication of what's really going on. But some people there might be a process that some guys fall into where, like, it might be a couple months or it might be a couple weeks, and you're thinking about her all the time because, oh, this girl's flirting with me. Save yourself the worry, save yourself the trouble, save yourself those months of thinking about it. I'm going to give you right now the top 5 signs so you can just understand it and throw it out the window. So before I get into that, I will just say, most of the time, if a girl likes you, she really likes you, and she wants to go out with you, or she wants to get with you, she will drop hints and she will flirt with you a little bit. And when you go to reciprocate, there will be something there. When you start to flirt back with her, there will be a kind of investment on her part. So if there's not that, if you try to flirt back with her and she goes cold, or her attitude towards you changes, or she's kind of like got you on a string and she's giving you a little bit of attention, she's pulling, that is an indication that she just wants the attention. She just is a narcissist. She just wants that validation hit. Okay, so number 1 is she flirts with you, but she's married or she has a boyfriend, right? Don't confuse this for cheating. In a way, it's cheating. If you look at it from a guy's perspective, I mean, I think some women feel this way too, is that if your significant other, your boyfriend, your husband, whatever, your girlfriend, your wife, if she's at work flirting with other men, that's kind of cheating in and of itself. It's cringy, it's weird. I would never want to be with a person who would go to work and then flirt with random men. That's sad, but it does happen because people, particularly women, they want that attention. People want that attention. Guys are not the flirtatious type for the most part. I'm not saying no guys flirt, but when guys go to work, we're scared to flirt because flirting is sexual harassment. Flirting gets us in trouble, so we don't flirt with random people at work. We just go and we do our work. Men are very logical. Okay, I'm at work, I gotta do work. If I'm gonna hit on a woman, I'm gonna set a time to hit on a woman. I'm not gonna moonlight at work and while I'm at work flirt. some guys do, and it is what it is, and flirting can get you, it can get you dates. I'm not saying it can't work, but it's dangerous for guys, and a lot of guys know that today, and a lot of guys don't flirt, but it's more of a woman thing, right? So if you know that she has a boyfriend, or you know that she's married and she's flirting with you, that's a red flag. That's a sign that she's not. Um, she's her intentions you got a boyfriend. I know you got a boyfriend, or you got a husband. I know you got this ring on. I'm not saying people don't cheat, because it does happen, but that's a sign. So you'd have to. It's not a complete disqualification that she doesn't want to get with you, but it's a sign. It's like, okay, like, you got a ring on. Why are you flirting with me? It's like, that's odd, and you need to notice those things. Look for rings on her finger. Look for indications that she's not single. Single women act different. Single women move different. A lot of times, this type of behavior, what I'm talking about, does come from married women, or does come from women who are taken because they want that extra attention. It's the old Steph Curry syndrome, or not Steph Curry, but Aisha Curry syndrome, where she's married to Steph Curry. He's a millionaire, famous basketball player, one of the best basketball players of all time, and that's not enough for her. She still wants the attention of men. I don't know if you guys remember this. A couple years ago, she was crying because guys stopped giving her attention. Other guys. So what that tells you is it's an indication of a narcissistic behavior, a narcissistic syndrome, where women want this extra attention. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want their perfect husband at home, and then they want to go to work and have guys lust after them and have guys flirt with them. And to them, that's just this. It's a validation of their existence. It titillates their emotions, right? And then, so a lot of times what you see today is women, particularly women when they're starting to get a little older, and they used to be super hot and guys used to give them, chase after them. What happens is they're like, dang, I miss those days when guys were hitting on me all the time. Now that I'm married and I got kids, like, life's kind of boring. It was exciting when guys were hitting on me. I felt powerful. I felt all this validation, da 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 da. And so they want that again. So what they'll do is they'll go out and they'll try to get it. They'll try to flirt with you. So you get on their radar, or she gets on your radar, I should say, and you start to chase her. And then you give her that validation. She's like, oh, I feel young again. I feel this burst of uh, excitement because this guy's hitting on me, this random guy, and I'm never gonna cheat on my husband because I love my husband, but it's cool that I'm, able to get this guy to chase me, and that makes me feel sexy, and it makes me feel uh, validated. It makes me feel like I'm worth something now. It helps my self esteem, gives me more confidence. Like, she knows she's good looking. It's just she wants, they want to flex it, right? And this is not every woman. It's not every good looking woman is going out of their way to get attention. It's just a certain type of woman. It's just a certain. Some women will do this. A lot of women actually do the opposite. A lot of women don't want the attention at all. A lot of women. So when I say female nature, it's not all women. It's not all women. Some women want to avoid it because they're like, I know guys want to have sex with me, and I don't even, I know guys want to date me, etc., and I don't even want to. I don't want to have any of that attention. I don't want any. I don't want any smoke. I don't want that at all. They just want to do their work and avoid any kind of interaction. Period. Right. So let's see. Number two, she redirects or pushes away your attempts to flirt. So it's only for her on her end. This means that's a power thing, and she wants you to simp. She wants that validation, but doesn't want to flirt with you. It's only on her end because she believes she is better than you. So a lot of the reason why women are, a lot of the reason why they pick you particularly to flirt with is because they see something nice in you. They see that, oh, this is a nice guy. He's not going to be overly aggressive. Women will read that in you. Women are very good at picking up social cues, very good at picking up body language, reading body language. And yes, it can absolutely backfire on them, and they could get some stalkers, or they could get guys who, you know, take it too far, absolutely, this can happen. Um, and so this is why a lot of times this type of girl's foolish. She's foolish for flirting with random men because you don't really know ultimately what that guy is capable of. And but it is she does view you. Oh, this is a nice guy. He's safe. I can flirt with him. I can get him to validate me and give me this attention. And it's a power thing. It's a power dynamic. She wants that power over you. This is why a lot of women collect orbiters. They collect guys in they'll go out and they will recruit guys, whether it's on social media or whether it's in their work environment or their social environment. They will recruit guys that they'll never sleep with as kind of orbiters. So these guys will orbit her, and like this is why you'll have a lot of simps around these women. Um, they'll do a little, so it's like they give a little bit and they get a lot, right? So um, the initial, they want to put that hook out there. They know they're good looking. That's all they need. They got their good looks, and then they just do a little bit of flirting. They throw that hook in the water to get you to bite, to get you to continue to give them attention, right? But number two is she redirects or pushes away your attempts to flirt. So when you try to flirt back, she's not reciprocal, right? So this is key because it means the only flirtation is on her end, and that's only to keep you to give her attention. What she wants is to take up real estate in your mind. She wants to take up real estate in your mind. She wants you to think about her all the time. She wants you to there's something sick in some women that makes them want a guy to obsess over her. This is what it makes them feel like a diva. It makes them feel powerful. This is wrong. It's damaging. It hurts guys. You have to take the red pill on this in order to overcome the damage that can happen. Like, you don't want a girl who's not giving you anything in return. She's with some other guy. She's not dating you. She's not going out to eat with you or spending any time with you. You're not getting physical with her. You don't want any woman you're not dating, you're not getting physical with, etc., to occupy any space in your mind, because that's a waste of your life. It's a waste of your energy. This is what we call energy vampires. This is an energy vampire, right? This is what narcissists are. Narcissists are energy vampires. They want to occupy a large space in your emotions, in your mind, whatever, and it's all for their self. It's all for their building. It's all for the building up of their self, like their selfishness. Oh, I'm so gorgeous, this guy, and you got to protect your energy, man. Protect your energy. Always protect your energy. You can't spread yourself so thin that you're chasing after windmills that aren't even yours, right? You're chasing after a girl that's not yours. She doesn't want you like that. She's not dating you or being physical with you, and yet you're giving her attention. You're thinking about her because she flirted with you a little bit, and women like that. It's a sick thing. They're wrong for doing it, some women, but that's how you can tell, is whenever you flirt back, whenever you try to be reciprocal, she goes cold, right? She'll flirt with you. She'll talk to you. Oh, how's she'll ask personal details, right? And this is number three. She asks questions about your life, but deflects questions you ask about hers. So it's a one-way street. That's number three. She asks questions about your life, but she deflects your questions about her personal life. So she is interested in you, it seems like, but whenever you go to be interested in her, she grows cold and she runs, because she wants you. She wants that investment from you, right? Because she knows, oh, hey, I got this guy. He wants me, and then that's that hit of validation. Oh, now I know he wants me, and then it's over. So there's no, and you could argue and say, oh, well, women like the chase, and this is why they like guys to be mysterious and da da da. Yeah, but that's if she's physically attracted to you. And I would say that for all of these points, the whole point is she's really not physically attracted to you. She just sees a sucker. She sees a guy who, like, yeah, he's a nice guy, and he'll give me the attention, that I want, and he'll invest in me. And then once I get that investment, then it's it. That's it. I've got that investment. He's chasing me. I know this guy wants me, and then I've won. It's like this sick little game that they play, right? So she won't respond to your. I'm not saying that she won't answer your questions, but it won't be in the same in the same kind of enthusiasm that she asks you about your stuff. She'll ask questions about you and your life, and she'll be like, oh, are you married, or are you, do you have kids, or like, are you, da, da, da. She'll ask these like really personal questions, but then when you ask your personal, she'll kind of deflect, or she'll be like, yeah, yeah, she'll answer, but she'll deflect. So it's not, so you think like, oh, well, this girl's asking me these personal questions, she must be really interested in me, let me ask her personal questions. And then you realize there's not a reciprocation, so you get confused, and you're like, I don't understand, she was flirting with me, and now that I'm flirting with her, she's not doing, it's not the same thing. Because what you don't realize is it's a power thing. She's throwing out the bait, she's giving you a little bit of attention, a little bit of flirtation, so that you'll invest, so that you'll buy it, so that you'll give her much more than what she's giving you, right? So it's this weird kind of like investment that she does a small investment and expects this huge investment because she wants all this attention, because this is what narcissists need. They need the power hit, they need the attention, they need that validation. And what they want is they want a constant supply of validation. This is what narcissists do. They want a constant supply of validation, meaning I want, every time I see this guy, I want him to like flirt with me, but not be weird about it, so I can get that, so I can reject him every time I see him, or I can, you know, redirect his advancements, because that makes me feel so powerful, and da 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 da. It's a power trip. It's a power trip. So you'll know when you attempt to flirt back, right? And then when you ask her personal questions back about her, you'll know that she's not investing, right? So number 4 is she's hot and cold. This is because she's, likely got her narcissistic supply from somewhere else. So if some days she's cold with you, it's probably because she's getting a hit from some other guy from somewhere else, and she's like, oh yeah, I don't want this narcissistic hit today, and they'll pick and choose, and it's just a twisted, weird thing. Or it's because if she's hot and cold, it's because you've invested and you started chasing her. Once you invest and you start chasing her, then she goes cold. So she's only giving, and this is what narcissists do, they only give you enough to keep you on the line. They only give you enough attention to keep you on the line. Once you take away, once you, try to reciprocate, or you try to give back and flirt, then they redirect and they go cold on you. But then if you feel like, oh well, she went cold on me, so I guess she doesn't really like me, and then you stop giving her that attention, then she'll start to throw back the bait, then she'll start to flirt with you again, then she'll start to throw stuff back out in the water, and hopefully I can get this guy back on my line, because it's always all about the attention. Always all about the attention, right? And again, if this is going on at work, it's like, it's weird. If this is going on like in your social group, it's weird. Particularly if she's got a boyfriend or a husband, it's like, why are you doing this? It's all for that narcissistic ego. It's all to build up that selfishness, right? Okay, number 5. Once you're on the hook, you invest in chase. She knows she has you, and she'll stop the initial flirtation. It's almost like she never. So it's like, and that's why I say hot and cold. When she stops that flirtation, you're like, wait a minute, this girl was flirting with me big time like 2 days ago, and now it's like I'm just, okay, goodbye. Like, so that's how you can really tell. It's like, okay, she flirted with me, and then once I started to flirt back with her, she went cold. And then when it's like, okay, well, she doesn't really like me, and I keep going, and then she starts to flirt with me again. So it's always this like push and pull, and it's never going anywhere. She's never actually trying to go on a date with you. She's never actually and she wants you to ask her out, because then once you ask her out, she's got you, right? Oh, this guy asked me out, and it's weird, and then I'll just try to be nice to him, and it's like every time you see her, so you ask her out, and she's like, oh no, I have a husband, or I have a boyfriend, whatever. Then every time you see her from now on, it's like, oh, there's that weird guy who asked me out, and it's like this twisted game. It's like she should know what she should know better. She should know that, like, hey, if you flirt with a guy and you're attractive and he's single and he doesn't know you're taken and he tries to ask you out, like, that's kind of a common thing. But because it's always all about the attention, and you know, this is kind of where narcissists mess up, is they don't really have any rational thought, because it's all about the ego. When your ego rules, the rational thought goes out the door, right? So it's not about like, well, yeah, it makes sense that this guy hit on me because I was flirting with him. It's not about that. It's just about like, oh, I just wanted the attention. Now this guy's flirting on me. Now it's awkward. Now she feels awkward, which doesn't make any sense because she was flirting with you. So really, if you break it all down, it's just very immature. It's just very, you know, there's no reason for any of it. It's all just stupid. It's like, why are you flirting with people in the first place? And they've always got that little caveat of like, oh, I'm just a very nice person. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's not nice people out there. I'm not saying there's not girls who are just super nice. There are, but most girls understand that, hey, you start asking people personal questions, you flirt, you're like, oh, you're so tall, or like, I'll bet you play sports, or like, you know, certain things. It's like, you got to be a narcissist or mental to not really understand that, like, yeah, a guy's going to take that as flirtation, right? You know, and I mean we live in the real world, and so I don't think that there is a what's the word I'm looking for, a term, reasonable, what's the word I'm looking for, reasonable doubt, reasonable, I can't remember. Anyway, there's a term where it's like, oh, well, you know, yeah, I'm just being nice. Like, people say that, like, oh, I'm just a nice person, but like, no, you're flirting. So it's like, when you break it down, it's like, you know, it's not just like one time either. Like, oh, you know, she asked me like, oh, hey, do you have any kids or something, like that's just a random question. But no, it's gonna be consistent. Like, this girl is always consistently flirting with me. She's giving me compliments, or like, oh, you're so tall, or oh, you're so athletic, or certain things like that. That's obvious indication of flirtation. And when that happens, if there's no reciprocation, et cetera, all these lists, then you realize, okay, it was just to get me in the friend zone. It was just to get me invested, right? And then once you invest, she knows that she has you, and she'll stop. For the most part, she'll stop the initial flirtation, or she'll just give you enough to invest and chase. She'll just give you enough to stay on the hook. It's a game, it's a conquest, right? Once she got what she wanted from you, she'll only flirt enough to keep you on the hook, right? So it's always about that attention. It's always about keeping that attention going, etc. Okay, I'm going to end it there. Appreciate you guys listening. It's been Jay Lee Podcast.